Welcome to the Long Run with Joel and Christy. I'm Joel.
And I'm Christy.
What are we doing today?
Today we're going to be talking about ways to cut money from your entertainment budget, or your summer budget, or your fun budget, or however you want to call it. But what you need to do first when determining ways to cut money from that budget is look at how much are you actually trying to cut from your budget. Is this something that you just need to make a few little cuts just to lower the amount that you're spending? Is it something that you're just like saying, I just want to save a little money where I can. Why would I spend extra? Which we're all about.
Yep.
Why would you spend extra if you don't have to?
Right.
Or is it that you're in a situation where you're like, this summer, everything is tight because of the economy and the situation going on. So I don't think I have any money to spend. So what we're going to do is first we're going to talk about ways to cut it down some or a little. And then we're going to finish off with some tips for you if you are looking at your budget and you're saying, I don't have money at all. We will end with those tips, so stick around.
All right, so if you need to cut back a little bit, consider these options. First, if you're on vacation, look for deals on entertainment like Living Social, Groupon, Trivago, use Rakuten, Swagbook apps, Ibotta browser extensions, all those. Also, in some tourist areas, check out the coupon books that are available in restaurant and hotel lobbies. I think they still have some in rest areas on the interstate too for hotels.
Basically, when you're going into a new state and you're crossing the border, going to those welcome centers, they will have coupon books that have hotel coupons in them. Just be aware that you cannot call ahead and reserve those rooms. You won't know for sure that they have anything available until you actually get there. But the bonus to that might be that you'll be able to see what kind of hotel it is before you make a reservation.
Sure.
You'll be able to see it from the outside and you might go,
Yep.
But we've never had any problem when we have used them. There's some caveats. Some of those caveats might be if it's a holiday or if it's the weekend. We go often to Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, because that's where our son and daughter-in-law live. But in the hotels and the welcome centers and the restaurants there, they usually have a display with coupon books in them. And those coupon books usually save you $2 to $3 off your restaurant foods. And some of the restaurants also $2 or $3 off of attractions. So be sure to check out those when you go into attractions. If it's a town like a tourist town like Pigeon Forge, Tennessee is, because you can be saving some money on the attractions and the restaurants in those locations. So that's kind of where we were going with that. So also consider taking snacks and some meals with you on your trip, especially if where you're going makes sense. Like there might be some places that might not would have kitchens for you or something like that, but you might, if you do have a kitchen where you're going to be, or at least a mini fridge or something, you could consider taking that. Take bottled waters with you instead of paying for bottled water every time, or refillable water things. Like there's ways to do that. You can bring an ice chest with you in most places that you would go. And if you're going to a theme park or something like that, like we often do, you can bring snack foods in there and bottled water. In most theme parks you can do that. Generally the only restrictions they have on that is nothing in a glass container and nothing that would require like refrigeration or something like that. Just be sure to check out the website that goes with that theme park and make sure that you're following their rules so that they don't stop you at the gate and tell you can't bring it in. But we've never had any problem with that. I mean, you could save money because theme parks and places like that usually have an upcharge to their meals.
Yep. All right, so next you want to check out Gas Buddy to make sure you're getting a good price on gas. It'll tell you what's near you. and the price of gas on each one. Now, the caveat here is those are updated by people that are at the gas station. It's not done automatically or anything.
Right.
So if you get there and it's not the incorrect price, then you can update that through Gas Buddy and say, oh, this is what I found it at instead of this price.
Yeah.
And you can also use Checkout 51 or Upside for rebates on gas as well. So you want to check out those apps too.
Now, we will tell you that the reason why we don't use Upside is because I think that you have to attach a credit card or something. And we just don't like working with apps that require that. We tend to use Checkout 51 because they do not require the credit card information to be attached. But if you're comfortable with attaching a credit card, you know, that would be up to you. But those are two that will give you rebate on gas purchases. Also, when you're thinking about gas expenses, you should also look at whether or not it's a better price to fly than to drive. Obviously, you'd have to drive a pretty good distance for it not to be worth it probably to drive, but you also have to think about time. How much time do I have for my vacation? You might want to go ahead and just fly if you can. If the amount of money that you would spend on gas is actually higher than a flight, then you might want to just fly. If it's the opposite and you wouldn't actually spend as much as the plane ticket, then it might be worth it just to make a road trip out of it. Yep. Road trips can be fun. We just did one on the way to Boston and back, and it was a lot of fun. And when we looked at the prices of flights to Boston and back here at that time that we were trying to book flights, it was going to be much more expensive for us to fly. Yeah. So, but we do have a few tips. Check into Skyscanner.com. They will let you know where you can find the cheapest flights that you can get. Also, if you use credit cards like we use, he has an American Express card that he uses for work, and it is attached to his Delta account. And so sometimes we get companion tickets for free. Yep. So we just have to pay for his flight, and then I get to fly for free. Yep. So things like that might make it worth it to fly as well. And another thing is when you look at Trivago and places like that, they might have a bundle deal with the flight, hotel, and car rental. So look into those. Basically, you want to keep your options open and not just make an assumption that one way is going to be cheaper than the other is basically what I'm saying. Right. So. All right. So if you're going to a theme park, check to see if the annual pass is a better price than paying for single day tickets. If you're going over multiple days, then it may be worth your while to go ahead and purchase an annual pass. Instead of paying for just a single day tickets, because then if you decide to come back, you can come back again. You can come back anytime over the next year, and you don't have to pay to get back in. Yep. And we have seen that on all scales of theme parks. Like we've mentioned Pigeon Forge, we've seen that with Dollywood. If you go more than like 2 times to Dollywood, a season pass is almost worth it because you're going to spend that much on the 2-day pass. Yep. And the same thing all the way up to the level of Disney World. Their annual pass for people who aren't Florida residents is like $1,400 per person. Yep. So you would have to go more than 2 days for sure to make that worth it. But if you went more than probably 2 weeks worth over the course of a year, you might be like balanced out, and you'd also be getting your parking while you're there for free and stuff like that. So it might make it worth it. But that's where you have to do the math, and you have to say, how many days are we going to be there? How much is the single day ticket? Multiply that and see, is that more than the actual annual pass cost? And if it's more, then it might be worth it to do the annual passes. Also, be sure to check out websites of any theme park you go to and see if they've got any kind of package deal for the hotel room and the tickets. But also be aware that most theme parks have some kind of hotel that is nearby that is going to be way cheaper. So, so it's just, you have to just look around and see what the best deal is, and think outside the box, and you know, make sure you're using your calculator. You can also, when you go to theme parks, be sure to check out, especially down here in Orlando where we live, they have there's travel agents all over the area that you do not pay for their services. They are paid commission when they bring somebody in, so you're not actually paying them, but they will completely help you plan the trip, and they will look for great deals. Anytime a new discount comes out, they will do the work for you and try to get that discount instead of you having to watch for it. They'll do the hard work for you, so be sure to check those out. Also, we will note that not only in theme parks, but also be watching for, I think it's generally called memberships, for museums and zoos and stuff that may be in your area, where you can like pay a membership and then you can go a lot, like a whole bunch of times, and it'll make it worth it. Also, be sure to watch and see if in your area, if they have like a special day where they let children in at a discounted price. I think in Houston they did that. When we used to live in Houston, there was like a Tuesday was a day that was free for children or something. So be sure to check that out.
Yep. Now, if you need to cut all the way back on your entertainment budget, consider a staycation. Do something fun at home that's different. Camping in the backyard, things like that. You know, if you need to stay at home, then there are lots of things you can do around your area. You can also search your area for cheap and free things to do in your area, and you'll have some things
type
come
it
up.
in the Google box.
Yep.
Free and cheap things in. Put your town.
Right. Yeah.
Or anywhere. Back to the one about lowering your vacation. Do that, but with the word of your vacation spot. But yeah, the free and cheap thing, that's what we used to do when we were really struggling financially. The words free and cheap was Googled often.
Yep.
And there, you might be surprised to learn that your town has more to do than you may realize.
Yep.
You just didn't know it was something. So check it out.
Yeah.
Also, like he said, at home, like have a camping night if you have a tent already. Get a little slip and slide, or you know, set up the sprinklers and have some popsicles, and just make it a fun day. Everything that you don't have to go out for entertainment all the time. Just make it a fun day like that. Have movie nights. You can have a lot of fun in the summer without traveling all over the place to get to it. But if you do want to leave your house to do some things, maybe there is a beach or a park in your area, and you could take a picnic there, and that'll make it fun for everybody. And you know, I'm assuming that if you have a park in your area, this probably got something to do. You know, it at least has playground equipment, but there might be some other things to do there. Like there was a state park that wasn't far from where we used to live in one location, and it had
Frisbee golf.
Frisbee golf.
Disc golf, yeah.
Frisbee golf. And it had you know, things to do on the lake, and it had frisbee golf, and you could have picnics there, and you could go for walks, and so there was tons of things to do in the park right there. So consider that will help you come up with some great things to do during the summer and get you out into nature.
Now remember, this is just a moment in your life. Maybe this is just something you need to do this summer. Maybe next summer you can splurge on a little vacation. If you save up for it and budget for it, you can do that. So just hang in there. Just remember, this is just a moment in your life, and things can change before you know it. If you want to see some more of our adventures, we're going to post the Boston video right here, the road trip we did. If you want to see this in action, this is going to be our Boston video right here. We want you to click it after we say the thing we always say. That's going to do it today for The Long Run with Joel and Christy. I'm Joel.
And I'm Christy.
Don't forget the long run. Give yourself a little grace.
Bye.